And last week, Darren Farwell was with us, and each week he helps us focus on financing and investing and planning. And good morning, Darren.
Good morning, Marilyn.
Last week, you introduced us to your special project for 2020. You're planning a book using the From a Woman's Perspective listeners' bios to encourage women and widows in particular to have confidence when they do their investing. So what are we talking about today?
Well, thank you, Marilyn, and good morning on this rainy day. Last week, I was very excited to announce we have a special project for 2020, as you mentioned. Over the coming weeks, my colleague Leslie and I will be transcribing our discussions and stories about, the real life stuff, the challenges and the opportunities facing widows that we highlight each week here on From a Woman's Perspective. Basically, our time on the radio will become a blog each week. You can access that blog through our website, plansingle.ca. Over time, those stories will be compiled into a book. Why are we doing all of this? Our goal is to help raise the level of confidence for widows. Confidence through knowledge, of course, but knowledge isn't the only remedy. Not all of it. Some is just a sense of personal confidence that makes it easier to make the right decisions. Our series is titled, You Can Do This, and as our valued listeners, we would appreciate your thoughts and input about the challenges, stories, and opportunities facing widows. Please connect your ideas, your thoughts through our website, plansingle.ca. This week, I'm going to talk about handling advice from family and friends, and just those random people who often have advice for you. Particularly when you first become a widow, I've been told, many people are there giving advice. Some people simply because they care. Maybe some to take advantage. How do you sort out the wheat from the chaff? How do you decline those odd bits that you hear that you just know aren't quite right for you in your circumstance without being rude? In regard to this one, here's what our friend Judy did when she was in this situation. One afternoon, while sorting through her deceased husband's old stuff, his brother stopped by. He made a suggestion that he delivered with great conviction, but Judy thought, tax-wise, she could see that might be a problem. However, she didn't want to be rude or minimize his concern. The good news is that she was prepared with the right thing to say in advance. She said, "That sounds really interesting, but before I do anything, I always run it past my personal advisor and accountant. It's polite, and actually, it's very prudent. Of course, you can have your own strategy or have your own thing to say. The important thing is to be ready in advance." Judy's prepared answer leads me to, the idea that she already knew in her head what she would say if someone gave her a piece of advice that she didn't think was really appropriate for her. Really great idea. And her prepared answer leads me to the second recommendation for handling advice of others. First, consider the source. And second, actually have a trusted team of professionals as your personal support team. If you get advice from people whose field of expertise seems quite different than what they're advising you on, it's important to have a second set of eyes and ears on it. Ask your accountant. Ask your lawyer. Ask an appropriate representative of the bank if you don't have those kind of professionals working with you. The important thing is to get a second opinion when someone whose source maybe isn't as reliable as you might expect or you might hope, but would like to find out more about it. If you don't know what you don't know, so when discussing ideas and strategies with a trusted professional that can help them make sense, we had a woman whose son-in-law had asked whether or not she could lend him $200,000 from some of the insurance money that she got on the death of her husband. Now, when we were doing the planning, she could maybe afford $200,000 and still have a strong possibility of all of her money lasting all the way to life expectancy of 95, but it was getting close. It was more palatable if she lent 50 to 100,000. She may not have known that if she hadn't done the planning. So working with a trusted professional advisor is important in being able to react to the advice and opinions that others have for you. If you don't have a personal financial advisor that you feel comfortable and confident working with, find one. Whether that's the person at your bank or the person at the firm you're working for, an accountant or a lawyer, someone that you can just run stuff past. Leslie and I have put together 2 tools in helping you do a search if you haven't already found the right advisor. The first tool comes from Leslie's co-authored book, Bank on Yourself. It's a chapter entitled Finding the Right Advisor, so we can send that along to you, as well as a survey from the Globe and Mail, which provides a series of questions that you can ask an advisor to ensure that they're going to be able to provide the value that's really going to be helpful over time.
So basically, this applies to anyone. Everyone wants to protect their future. And when you get advice and you wonder whether to turn left or right, you wouldn't just make an arbitrary turn. I use Waze on the app on my phone. You need somebody that knows what to do to give you some solid information so that you can make an informed decision. This book is happening, but if you have questions, you can be part of the book because obviously the questions will be answered, but you don't have to have a formal meeting with Darren to put your name for the book. You can actually make a phone call and ask your questions and take a step at a time. And then if you want to have a meeting with Darren and his team, you're welcome to do that. Darren, are you going to work today?
Seems kind of rainy outside, so I guess I'll hide into the office this afternoon.
And if you listen to the weatherman, he suggests you don't go anywhere, so it's a good day to use your fingers on your phone, and you can call Darren and speak to him today at 416-863-7501. That's 416-863-7501. It's not a problem if you have a question to ask. I think it's a problem if you jump into water before you know how deep it is. So ask your questions of the experts. Darren and his team, the Farwell Group, are there. They've been there and done that for how many years, Darren? It's over 25 years.
31 now.
Congratulations. So you can ask the experts and control your future and protect your future, at least your financial future, with Darren. 416-863-7501. Thank you very much, Darren, for the conversation and those pointers and the offer of the literature. I'm sure listeners will appreciate it and take you up on it, and I look forward to learning more next week.
You're welcome, and thank you, Marilyn.